it's another one of these videos where I just kind of show off little tiny things that I bought because I am a big fan of miniature reproductions that are actually functional of real things, and this being a reproduction, a very faithful one, because my grandparents owned a Pac-Man machine when I was a kid. Very faithful reproduction of the actual arcade machine. That's freaking tiny, dude. It is absolutely microscopic. Here's a Nerf dart in comparison. It is just tiny, and it's got a backlit screen and everything. It fully works. The little knob right here is actually a joystick. These two buttons, which you don't really use for anything in Pac-Man, but they are a thing. And probably the best part, the marquee lights up. Oh, this is, you have no idea how. I just got this today, and I've got it on a whim because I really wanted one, and it is amazing. If you're interested in something like this, there will be a buy link down in the description below where you can pick one up for yourself, and that would actually support the channel and probably just help me buy more of these things because this is just so cool. What would be even cooler than this is probably a Gundam that's in the correct scale to actually play this thing, assuming he had the correct hands to actually manipulate the controls, but it is a little tiny thing. Oh my god, it's so cool! This is a Gundam Assault Kingdom. I believe they're little, candy toys that you can buy in Japan or something like that. Of course, I don't live in Japan, so I buy these things off Amazon, or I've actually bought this one, I believe, at a Hastings back in Idaho, but it is just a little miniature, fully posable Gundam, kind of like a Gundam model, except for way smaller, in a very small scale. It's crazy posable. You can do a lot of things with these things. It comes with a little stand, and I just love stuff like this. This is the Build Burning Gundam from Gundam Build Fighters Try, and they usually come in sets of 4. This one also came with a DOM. It also came with the Build Strike, and then the Master Gundam from G Gundam. And I have all of them. I actually sent the Build Strike off to Foam Blast because everybody needs more Gundam, and these ones are the least offensive ones I can think of, but these things are so freaking cool. They actually even get a little bit more detailed. If you want to buy the HCM Pros, these are really weird figures. These are they're Gunpla, but they're not. They come with the main body of the figure already put together, and all of the extra bits are actual, like, Gunpla pieces that you'd snip out and put together. It stands for High Complete Model, and they're in the 1/200 scale, which is it's about the same scale as these things, actually, but way more detailed. Absolutely insane the amount of detail that goes into these things. And they come with all sorts of interchangeable parts, while these things come with maybe a rifle if you're lucky. This one came with an extra set of hands because Build Burning doesn't do anything but punch things really hard. And they're awesome. I have 2 of these things, and they could be anywhere from super cheap, like 15 bucks, to crazy, crazy expensive, depending on which Gundam you're trying to get. I've actually seen these at, like, a hobby store and stuff, too. They are really, really fun. I want to collect them, but they are far too expensive for what they actually are. And I'm butthurt about this one, because this being the Gundam Dynamis from 00 Gundam, it doesn't have his pistols anywhere. I'm really upset, but I think I bought this for 12 bucks off Amazon one day. Like, seriously, these things are so cool, and it's just tiny. It's so small. I have it riding the shoulder of another Gundam I have. I just love these things, and it's completely posable, just like the big ones. It's awesome, and I love it. How about a little tiny replica of the Splatter Shot from Splatoon? This is just an absolutely tiny thing that is very, very faithful to the actual weapon in the game. It doesn't do anything. It just kind of sits on the stand like this, but it looks good on my desk, so why not? And it's tiny, and I like it, and it's cool, and that's kind of all it takes. But of course, there's one item that I looked at last time I did something like this, which was the world's smallest Nerf gun, that everybody seemed to want, and that was the Takara Tommy Arts miniature revolver. And those are things that they're not easy to get, but they're not impossible to get. I had gotten that one off Amazon, and it completely disappeared, and I can't find them on Amazon anywhere anymore, but they still exist if you want to look for them. I found these on eBay, but these are just little tiny toys that come in capsules like this. They're very popular. They're called gachapon capsules in Japan. That's something like an onomatopoeia for what they sound like when they actually, you crank it and then it falls out and makes a sound. Japanese are kind of weird like that, but they're capsule toys, and you spend like $5 and you get a little capsule, which is a lot for a little capsule vending machine toy. you know, here in the US where you pay like 50 cents, maybe $1. But you get some substantially cooler things out of these. And, well, there was a set that I kind of wanted. Actually, there's a lot. I want as many of these as I can get my freaking hands on. But I decided to go with a little blind buying of 2 of them in this set right here, which you can already tell what's going on. This is the Takara Tomy Arts Assault Rifle and Shotgun set. And looks like there's, what, 7 different models you can get. AKN, ASK, AYK, I guess that's just a model number, but there's like an M4 and stuff in there. It just looks freaking cool. But most importantly, there is a shotguns. I love my shotguns. Who doesn't love shotguns? If you don't love shotguns, I don't know what to tell you, but man, shotguns are awesome. And I was really hoping when I got these to get a shotgun, and we will see what I got in just a moment, but I did already open these. In fact, I opened them on camera, so the actual construction of them will be up in the corner somewhere in a little tiny video so you can see exactly what you get when you open up the package. And unfortunately, my microphone had died. So I didn't actually get the things on camera, but that's probably better because instead of me bumbling through all this, I have it already together and I can talk about it and it'd be fun. It shows you on the back how to put these things together if you got ones. I really, really like these. They're fun. They shoot bullets and stuff like that. Like, they shoot bullets and the shotguns actually shell eject, and I guess so would the assault rifles. It's so cool! And when I say bullets, I mean like little plastic rod / pellet things. But we'll start with the first one I got, which was this. Now, when I opened this, I thought it was actually like some kind of assault rifle. You could forgive me for that with this M4 style stock, but as soon as I got it together, I realized, no, it is in fact a shot fun. And they shoot these little tiny plastic rods. They are absolutely tiny. Seriously, these things are absolutely microscopic. And yeah, they do load and fire in this thing, and they pack, as you know, about as much punch as it could for something that small. But the way this thing works is it has a detachable magazine. The one on this one happens to be a little bit loose, but yeah, this is a magazine that holds exactly 2 shells, which isn't a whole lot, but you take the actual little shotgun shell here, you take your little rod, and you put it in here, like that, and we'll grab another one, and put it in there. And then there's a follower on this, which you can pull down, and load these shells into. Just like that. And then we take that, we're gonna put it into the actual shotgun, and when I pull this trigger, it's going to fire a little tiny pellet thing. Just like that. And then when I pump it, well, it doesn't do it if you're holding it like that, but it actually ejects the shell and chambers the next one, which of course I can then... Oh! Well, I could fire it if it didn't fall out of the freaking magazine. Again, this one's a little bit loose, but let's get a better grip on it. There we go. And then it ejects out the shell. This is, of course, something that's very cathartic for me because I absolutely love shotguns, and now I have a little tiny desktop shotgun that works perfectly fine. Seriously, these things are super, super cool. This one's got really nice parts on it that are different color separation and whatnot. They're matte painted on these sides, while these ones are just the normal gloss injection molding. They have actual rails, which if you had more parts, will actually accept like optics and stuff like that, which is just crazy to me. Even this like magazine stop up here. Even though it's a pump action shotgun with a magazine tube, it's got a detachable magazine, which is kind of weird. It's a modification you could do to a lot of shotguns, but still, it's a little weird. But the magazine stop has rails on it and everything. These are really cool. I mean, the stock even comes out. What more could you possibly want? Answer, probably one of these with a better working shotgun magazine. And we got that in one of the best shotguns you could possibly get. That's not an actual, like, over-under or anything like that. A Spaz 12? Maybe? I think just about everybody knows what this thing is. It's very, very common to see in action movies because it's an awesome-looking shotgun. Of course, the foldable stock, which you always have to keep actually sitting down like that because nobody knows that's actually a folding stock. It just makes it look freaking cool. But of course, it does come out and fold out, and then you get a little shotgun like that. I'm guessing these would be very good in scale with like a G.I. Joe or something like that. I don't own anything like that. That was another thing when I was a kid I saw. Like, G.I. Joes had really cool looking miniature guns and stuff like that that had detachable magazines and stuff that actually had little bullets painted in them, which were super cool, but I never had them and whatever. But this is another one where it's like you detach this. The difference being is that this magazine is not only it works perfectly fine, but it holds an extra round. So we can take these and put 3 of them in the little tiny magazine. And this is a lot fiddlier than it looks. These things are very... Oh, that one's actually loaded. These things are very, very small and kind of hard to manipulate because they are tiny, tiny little shotgun shells. Ah! And I kind of wish they were a different color, like they were red or something. I think that would have been way cooler. Oh, gotta put it in right. Than having just the black plastic. It could have been red plastic, I think, since they're already a separate piece. Kind of upset they didn't do that, but whatever. I'm not the one making them. I'm not Takara Tomy. Takara Tomy? I don't really know. We'll put that like that. And we'll put the magazine in there. It get a little weird. You have a pump-action shotgun with a detachable magazine, but pop. That one didn't really go very far, but that one flew pretty far. And I'll probably never get that little piece back ever again. Thankfully, I got 2 shotguns out of this, and they both use the exact same shells and ammo, so I will have a little bit of these for some time. And if you guys happen to like this kind of thing, I would not be adverse to buying more of them, because they're really cool. In fact, I'd like to buy as many as I could. Some of these can get really expensive, because I'm guessing some are rarer than others, and some sets are way older, so they may be more expensive, but these ones right here were relatively cheap, and they still have a lot more, which I could buy, that are relatively cheap. So just have to search up eBay, and I'll find some pretty cool things. But fully working shell-ejecting firing shotguns, I honestly can't ask for a whole lot more. I would like to find the pistols, like the slide-fed pistols, the magazine-fed pistols, there we go. I would also like to find, hopefully, like a break-action shotgun, which would be incredible. I kind of doubt that exists. I don't know how they would do the shell ejection without having little tiny springs and all this extra. I don't know how these work, so maybe it's a lot easier than I'm thinking, but I know it's not Nerf, but I think everybody in the Nerfing hobby kind of likes shooting sports at some time, and since these are little tiny plastic toys that actually fire stuff and fires them with quite a bit of a vengeance, I had a feeling that people would enjoy seeing these kinds of things, because I honestly didn't even know they existed until I happened to find them by chance, and honestly, I couldn't imagine my life would just go incomplete without having something like this. Seriously, you just put a shell in there. I'm never gonna find that one either. Oh, that's so much fun. This is Walcom S7 fingers. Thank you very much for watching this video, and of course I hope to see you in an entirely different one. This is quite a bit different. I mean, compared to a Nerf dart, these things are really, really tiny. And honestly, I'm very, very happy, and I want more of them, so hopefully you guys like this kind of stuff.